No.
Do that. We should do it whilst the chorus here, so that.
Exactly. Even though there's been a on here, I will cope with the negative. But it will mean a walk in the morning.
I think all Android devices like this will be wireless when they're not wired.
Don't I?
So they may have this.
So after 2 minutes, can we go for a walk? We were doing I can no longer do squat. Cool. Sounds like it is almost. Cool.
This, as you probably recognize by now, is a new virtual game card screen. Which lets you manage your virtual game cards or your digital library in a whole new way. Some may say for the better, some may say for the worse. In any case, what it allows you to do is share the
Do you mind and if I have to make this?
plan as well, which is pretty cool. Although if you want to restore the old functionality with a whole
My new switch.
You should update.
My new switch.
It's not there.
Update it.
Update it. Update. Yeah, but don't hack it because.
Don't worry about it.
Do you want me to get it?
There is a virtual game card feature here, so let's go and click into it, and you're going to see it's going to display my entire virtual game card library. You can see your hidden game cards if you have it. So let's go and test this out. So let me go ahead and bring up a picture-in-picture view with the website on the left there and the switch right above. And as you can see on the switch, is not
That's what I can. It works well on the phone and much better. With me, I can read so which games and things. So, as you we were.
すでに君に狙いを定めている。それは関与しよう。すでに君に狙いを定めている。
Cool.
審判するのはあいつの仕事だ。私の役目カルコ、それだけ。
Where's myself?
それは神の仕事。
Oh, the self-dating. Next,
私の体内のコードは黒。
eventual cast. Eventual things. Our gaming is getting really rough.
異常行動をね。問答無用。殲滅。それは神の仕事。
Eggy! I'm going to come back again and reinstall one of my favorite programs.
Also post a link directly in the description. And then if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there. It's a quick second, but it helps our community grow. Alright,
Oh my goodness, it's going really well.
in the early 80s, Sega established themselves as one of the most oversaturated arcade machines, but not enough people willing to put quarters in any of them. This decline was reversed Sega because a lot of their revenue was coming from their arcade titles. In order for them to stay alive, Sega needed to adapt, so they turned their attention to the home console market. The original idea was to release a computer called the SC3000, but they noticed that Nintendo was planning on making a console that played cartridges. It wasn't a computer that was able to perform all those tasks.
殺戮将校の中で先に
So, as a response, they began development on the SG-1000, which would become Sega's first ever computer console. This would mean that Sega and Nintendo would become competitors in the home console market. Sega decided to release the SG-1000 on the same day as Nintendo Famicom, July 15, 1983. They also released the SC-3000 like originally planned. On paper, Sega's new console had some things going for it. For one, it had a bigger library of
Close the door, please.
the SG-1000 had 21 games available for purchase.
もう二度と太陽を拝めないと
Secondly, the SG-1000 sold more units than Sega originally expected. The Famicom had a slow start because earlier versions contained bad chipsets with a automatic crash, so they had to be recalled. So while the Famicom was performing accurately, the SG-1000 was still very strong. In its first year, Sega sold 160,000 units.
それは神の仕事
Sold the SG-1000 at a higher price point, 15,000 yen, as Famicom only sold 4,800 yen. So while Sega job. Now even though these games came out on the day, when you play them side by side,
私の体内のコードは黒だ
Sega
顔にしろ。
Core again. Oh, I don't talk yet.
So while Sega had a head start with the amount of games that were available in the first year, Nintendo's lineup of games was better.
Cool.
Guys ported some of their classic arcade titles to the SG-1000, but none of their games had the same brand recognition that Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye had, which were the Famicom launch titles. Nintendo was also very flexible with third-party developers. The Famicom had a lot of third-party support, which really worked in the console's favor. Sega, on the other hand, was very reluctant to work with third-party developers because a lot of them were Sega's competitors. If you look at the lineup of SG-1000 games, most of them were developed by Sega. It only gets worse when you look at the games because it's clear that the hardware capabilities are much worse than Famicom. The console didn't support as many colors, a lot of the sprites were only one color, and the games didn't have much content. Remember, this console came out on the same day as Famicom, and it was very expensive. Should the hardware be similar, if not better? Well, before we judge the console, let's look at some of the games. Alright, here's Star Tracker. It's a very basic shooter, not much to ships, and each time you get hit, you lose one of them. If you lose them all, it's game over. Having all your spaceships intact means you have more firepower, but it also means you're a bigger target, so it's kind of a trade-off. What's nice is you regain all your spaceships in between stages. I do want to comment on the music because it does create a great atmosphere, and it sounds great. I do give the SG-1000 credit for the sound of this. Overall, this is a decent arcade port. It's repetitive and super basic. Alright, let's look at Congo Bongo. I'm actually kind of disappointed because it went with a 2D style isometric 3D style that the arcade version had. Even the ColecoVision one was able to handle the isometric style.
私の体内のコードは黒。
Why couldn't the SG-1000 version do this? So I mean, now let's try City Race. You're on a motorcycle and you must make it as far as possible while avoiding obstacles. There's no lives in this game. Instead, you have to make sure you don't run out of gas. If you do, it's an automatic game over.
That's
Actually a very fun title, but unfortunately for Sega, the Famicom also got this game, and it's much better. The scrolling is smoother, the graphics are better, and it's faster-paced. Now let's try Wonder Boy. It's a side-scroller. When you first start the game, you're completely defenseless, but you can collect a hammer, which gives you a projectile that you can throw at enemies. This is a very fun game when you play it on other consoles. This version has some control issues. The choppy scrolling makes it difficult to aim your jumps, and for some reason the Cobra enemies make it appear in the middle of the screen and give you very little reaction time. This game was released on the Famicom under the name Adventure Island, and this one is much better. So once again, let's try the Sonic series. Cats give them all you. The arcade version
cool.
a lot of fun, but the replay of the SG-1000 has some control issues. Like with Wonder Boy, it's very difficult to make your jumps properly. In the arcade game, I had no issues migrating from the lower platforms to the higher ones, but here I kept missing my target. It's frustrating because I kept trying to reach the top platforms, but
And it's going really well.
it's not a bad version of the game, but the controls could have used some work. The last game we'll look at is Doki Doki Penguin Land. Here, you safely move an egg down a large vertical stage.
それは神にしろ。
Rails, you can't drop it from too high of a height, and enemies will break the egg if they make contact with it. You can make platforms in front of you disappear to help you descend the egg where you want it to go. It kind of reminds me of Low Run. Unlike the other games, the jumping is actually really good. The scrolling is definitely better, but you can play like the others. The only control issue I had was making the blocks disappear. A few times I was going the wrong way,
Yeah, funny.
It wasn't as obvious in 1983 because mappers were not common yet, and a lot of the Famicom titles were just a single screen. But when more games started being released in the coming years, it was obvious which console was obvious already. Even when you compare the SG-1000 to other consoles that were released at the time, it still doesn't hold up well. Games like consoles, the SG-1000 was definitely not ahead of its time. If anything, it was far behind. Unfortunately for Sega, the Famicom continued to be successful in the later years while the SG-1000 died. But there is some good news. Sega would revise the SG-1000 a couple times. The first version, which was called the SG-1002 or the Mark II, it had detachable controllers, which was nice, but the hardware was exactly the same, and it wasn't anything special, to be honest. The second revision, however, did have some improvements in the hardware department, and this would eventually become the Sega Master System for the Mark III in Japan. Because the hardware was based off the SG-1000, the Japanese Mark III would be backwards compatible with SG-1000.
Again. Come.
Was compatible with the SG-1000 hardware department, and this would eventually become the Sega Master System or the Mark III in Japan. Because the hardware was based off the SG-1000, the Japanese Mark III would be backwards compatible with SG-1000 games.
Are wildly secret menu items actually worth the price? Starting with Chipotle. I walked in and asked, "Can I do a quesarito?" And he immediately knew what it was and started making it. Now the quesarito is a burrito, but instead of a normal tortilla, they wrap it in a giant quesadilla. Yeah, that sounds amazing. But when they finished, the price came out to over $60. I took it outside and started wrapping it. Honestly, it looks really good. I mean, come on, a cheesy giant burrito? I definitely order this again. Next up, Starbucks. Now this place is known for having 8 massive, but they just announced Frappuccino, so I asked them but for $8, it's pretty pricey. Honestly, it definitely is pretty strange having a cream Frappuccino with a black Java chip. That's tasty. Kind of see why this isn't on the real list. And last up, McDonald's, where I'm ordering a Big Mac, a filet of fish, and a McChicken, which I'm so I went outside and assembled it. All of this looks insane. It ended up costing me $15 after taking the $1.7. Just announced the new Shrek Frappuccino, so I asked them for it and they actually made it. But for $8, it's green Frappuccino with the black Java chip. That's tasty. You gotta see why this isn't on the last one, McDonald's. Which I'm bet you can use the land $15 after taking a bite. I would never make this again. For viral secret
This game sucks! Everyone's cheating all the time! I mean, I don't think everyone's cheating. Yes, they are!
Funny.
I really need to change my character. Everyone's gonna think I'm a noob if I keep using that default skin. But I don't want to spend any money, so I'll just use one of
私の体内のコードは黒。もっと早く雑魚。
exactly the same except they have a different color shirt. Oh wait, this one's
really need to change my character. Everyone's gonna think I'm a noob if I keep using that default skin. But I don't want to spend any money, so
Huh? What's that countdown? Leviathan light forms? That sounds so cool. Where are they?
これが痛みという感覚
Let's go back.
I really need to change my character. Everyone's gonna think I'm a noob if I keep using that default skin. But I don't want to spend any money, so I'll just use one of the free skins. Default with a
Good, you have to
What's the cheapest and most expensive food in a football stadium? Now, pretty much every stadium in America serves their own unique and different foods, so they're all known for being.
Oh yeah,
And of course, they
voting one out of actually.
just how expensive you can actually get. So I pulled up to the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami and started looking around for both foods. Starting with the cheapest food in the stadium, the hot dog, which is probably the most iconic stadium food you can get. It also cost me $4, which actually isn't that cheap for a hot dog. And after taking a bite, it was pretty decent. I think you're better off getting a hot dog from Costco. Which actually came from the stand that's also a charity, and they serve brisket mac and cheese. When they were making it look really good, they cut up some fresh brisket and put it on top of the mac and cheese before adding barbecue sauce and chives. And then obviously took it back to me to watch the game. This dish cost me $20.
This one.
After taking the brisket is nice and tender, and the mac and cheese is incredible. It's the cheapest and most expensive food in a football stadium. But they're all known for being pretty overpriced. And of course, they never let you bring out that food in. But I'm curious just how expensive you can actually get. So I pulled up the
早く出せザコ
started looking around for both foods. Starting with the cheapest food in the stadium, the hot dog, which is probably the most iconic stadium.
黙れ
It also cost
それは神のし
that much for a hot dog, and after taking a bite, it was pretty decent. I think you better off getting a hot dog from Costco. Which actually came from a stand that's also a charity, and they serve brisket mac and cheese. When they were making it,
異常行動の目
put it on top of the mac and cheese, and adding barbecue sauce and chives. And then obviously took it back with me to watch the game. This dish cost me $24, but after taking a bite,
That is a good mac and cheese. Brisket is
さあそのコードに流れる悲鳴を聞かせてくれ
food in a football stadium. Now, pretty much every stadium in America serves their own unique and different foods, but they're all known for being pretty overpriced. And of course, they never.
Yes, can I get a large ice?
I don't understand the put on people. I guess what? On Monday we're going to go to Asta.
早く出せ
And Tintin Power and Roblox.
Should I go visit Agtag Films? The time Mr. Beast was arrested for communicating threats to two YouTubers who were arrested.
Oh my goodness, really wow.
These are just three of the arrests we're going to be discussing today, starting with a duo that was arrested for trespass. On February 22nd, 2022, a couple by the name of Saucy and Honey apparently uploaded a video spending the night in a local hotel. They built a box fort in the back of the store, waited until the employees left for the night, Then spent a merry few hours driving around the store and strolling. Well, it turns out
私の体内のコードは黒。
Market challenge wasn't entirely genuine. The pair actually got bored and left the store at the
すでに君に狙いを定めている。
Saucy and Honey had gotten away with it until they got a call from the police saying that Target was pressing charges. The couple was guilty of third-degree trespassing and conspiracy and released on a $25,000 bail. But that seems minor compared to the Stoke twins, who faced 4 years in prison for
Yes,
bank robbery.
is
Back in
how
October
much money I
2019,
can
Stoke
in
twins
this
recorded themselves putting on ski masks, running through a university campus, all while carrying a double bag of cash.
Oh, really?
Funny and tried to meet strangers. They had just robbed the bank, but instead
There were 5.
police then decided to call the Uber. However, the driver was refused to take them anywhere and told them to get out. The twins were charged with false imprisonment and false claims. They both would plead guilty to reducing.
Stop playing fake cash games. Fake game. If you have to top up, please delete your fake game. If you have to watch ads, please delete your fake game. Try this game. Win real money easily. Yes, download through this video now. You can directly get a $180 prize bonus. No limit to withdraw. We will directly pay to your PayPal. The transaction is within 1 minute. Keep playing. You can win $300 a day. Just tap the button below and get your money right now.
Gamble with a credit card, and another in South Korea where he punched his girlfriend's camera. However, it was when Ice Poseidon and his group got to Thailand that things would quickly spiral out of control. While sitting in a hotel lobby with his girlfriend and friends, Ice Poseidon would film himself giving lap dances and launch.
And also, my phone number is registered.
Not do this in Thailand. Ice Poseidon and his friends were arrested for distributing content and spent the rest of the night in jail. 2 days later, Ice uploaded a video issuing a public apology, where he would also explain that he had to remain in Thailand until his court date.
2
months later, Ice Poseidon was allowed to leave Thailand. He got elected to a nice judge who reduced the charges to just a small fine. Ice was reluctant compared to Vitaly, who faced 15 years in prison for attempting to battle the law for seeing the video titled Russian Prank on Ross. Vitaly was wearing a suit and carrying a small black briefcase. He would then set the
Space
briefcase on
Glow,
the ground,
play now.
telling the stranger he
Have
had
a look and
60
see if they
seconds
can
to
send
get
you a
away
code
before
if
it
you
would
want.
explode. Things would take a
I don't
turn for
think
the
so.
worse when Vitaly eventually revealed to the man that
I
the
need some
entire
more.
thing was a prank. The man would grab Vitaly's phone and chase.
No. No.
So, last so I will turn up that form again.
Well, hey, thank you so much for a tip. Would you like $10 or would you like to try this game? Hey, if you hit a jackpot, I'll give you $100. What do you say?
Okay.
Give that a try.
Oh, no jackpot.
Well, hey, no worries. Give it another go.
Okay. Oh, that's a jackpot! What game is this?
Well, now, this is the game that 98% of Americans are playing right now. What sets it apart from all the other games is that you can even hit a jackpot in about 2 or 3 spins. And if you're on a roll, you can hit 5 jackpots in a minute. The best part, you don't need to make any purchases or watch any ads because you will never run out of coins.
Oh my god, sir, can you tell me where to download it? I want to play too.
Why don't you click on the link below to find out how fast you can hit a jackpot?
And that the entire thing was a prank. The man would grab Vitaly's phone and chase both him and his cameraman to the party. When the man couldn't catch up with them, he called the police. No! However, the charge dropped. Nothing else was still wrong. While posting a video, Vitaly Back in the summer of 2023, Sniper Wolf got into a heated dispute with another YouTuber, Jax Films, who had called her out for stealing other creators' work without proper permission. Their dispute would continue to escalate for months until October 13th, 2023, when Sniper Wolf posted a photo on her Instagram story with text that read, "Should I go visit @Jack Films? He lives 5 minutes away from my shoot." She proceeded to upload several more posts to her story. Jax Films would post a screenshot of the Instagram story to Twitter and accuse Sniper Wolf of doxing him by revealing where he lived. She would deny the allegations. "I have no idea how to dox," which would gain widespread criticism. Sniper Wolf needs to be deplatformed. YouTube needs to step in and do something about this. YouTube needs to suspend her channel now. So while YouTube eventually announced that Sniper Wolf
What is I know about I know about
if Jax Films
outcode.
intended to cause physical contact,
It doesn't have
could have easily been penalized under California's electronic
I know about
statute. And speaking of navigating the often huge and dangerous world of the
I know
internet,
about
did you know that your name, email, phone number, address, and even your phone
I know about
are sold online by massive corporations called data brokers. And in a world where
Hey, when do you want me to cut
online
your finger off?
privacy
Can I
can
do that
easily
now?
be
No.
compromised, removing your data from data broking websites can protect you from risk of harassment, stalking like someone showing up in front of your house, and even identity theft. That's why I use Delete Me to keep my data safe. Not only do they create a detailed privacy report within 7 days showing how much of your personal data they found and removed, they spend all year deleting new pieces of data that pop up like a constant, terrifying game of internet whack-a-mole. Call me crazy, but I kind of think my marital status, my age, and the value of my property is nobody's business but my own. That's why it's such a weight off knowing that Delete Me's privacy experts are there all year round to keep my data off those websites. And as the tools these corporations use to mine your data only get more sophisticated, it's never been more important to start protecting your personal data. This isn't something you should ignore anymore. You can get 20% off when you go to joindeleteme.com/Mike20 and use promo code Mike20 at checkout. Which brings us to Mr. Beast, who thought he was facing 120 days in prison after being arrested over a prank. The incident was first seen on the Airrack YouTuber channel in a video titled, "I Actually Got Mr. Beast Arrested." Prior to the arrest, police officers were seen pulling Mr. Beast over and then questioning him about an unsafe level of window tuning.
Hey, how you doing? Look, I stopped you for your tent, man.
Shortly after, a cop revealed to Mr. Beast that he had an outstanding warrant for communicating threats, and he was put into handcuffs. Mr. Beast was placed into the back of a police vehicle, where he was then continuously questioned.
You've never been arrested before? No. You get stopped what for your window tent?
At this point, Mr. Beast stopped talking, as he probably realized it was smarter to stay quiet. While staying silent is a good decision, the one thing he should have done is state to the officer that he is exercising his right to remain silent. Otherwise, his silence could have still been used against him in court. However, things would only get worse when back at the station. Mr. Beast was booked and then put into a jail cell. Mr. Beast would ask the cops for food and to be allowed a call with his lawyer, to which Airrack finally revealed it was an elaborate prank. Next up is Logan Paul, whose arrest actually involves the military. Back in 2017, while vacationing in Italy, Logan and his friends made their way to a famous archaeological site, the Colosseum, to shoot some photos. The afternoon started off with Logan stating that drones were illegal, but he decided to fly it anyway.
I understand drone shots here are illegal, so let's do that.
The drone was picked up by the military and confiscated from the no-fly zone policy.
In this area is illegal.
No bueno.
We must arrest you for this.
Logan was escorted to police headquarters, where he spent the rest of the day. But that's nothing compared to Gideon, because he was arrested for a Valentine's Day prank gone wrong. The incident was seen in a video titled, "My Professor Rejected Me," that was posted on the internet and be seen carrying balloons, flowers, and a stuffed animal. Dami would then approach a female class instructor and allegedly telling them they had to leave, adding that she was calling the
With
university.
Mobile
It
Legends
turns out that
Downtown.
Gideon wasn't arrested until a few weeks later.
The most relaxing game of 2025.
Relaxing game, that's a relaxing game.
It's
Good statistics professor.
Alright, chat, I'm going to jail. See you boys later.
And while the law eventually caught up with Gideon and he had to pay a large fine, his punishment wasn't nearly as bad as Trevor Jacobs, who after faking a plane crash was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Back in 2021, a former Olympian named Trevor Jacobs uploaded a video to his YouTube channel titled, "I Crashed My Airplane." The video begins with Trevor taking off in a small two-seater airplane. About 35
I've
minutes
had the
into the
new
flight,
wire.
the plane's propellers stop moving, which causes Trevor to become alarmed. After realizing the engine may have failed, he opens the door and jumps out, parachuting to the ground. Some viewers were suspicious of the stunt, with a number of comments pointing out that Jacob was already wearing a parachute. He made no attempt to glide the aircraft to a safe landing area, and he took a camera and selfie stick with him when abandoning the plane. To make matters worse, Jacob lied to investigators, telling them he did not know the location of the wreckage. But actually, instead, he found the crash site and used a helicopter to lift the wreckage out of the forest, and then, bit by bit, dismantled and disposed of the wreckage in an attempt to interfere with the investigation. Trevor would plead guilty to destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation and was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Talk about a weird way to go to prison. Equally weird was Christopher and Kimberly Phelps, who attempted to fake car accidents in the videos posted on their YouTube channel. Last year, a channel under the name Blue Ghost aroused suspicion when it began posting dashcam videos of a large number of vehicle crashes, close calls, and road rages. The account was connected to a man called Christopher Phelps, who together with his wife Kimberly had uploaded over 160 videos to the platform, all featuring their own vehicle. It turns out, not all of these accidents were actually accidents. After reviewing the couple's footage, officials linked incidents with his child in the car. Not content with that sweet YouTube AdSense, Christopher also filed 17 insurance claims linked to 23 collisions on the channel. Christopher Phelps had his driver's license immediately revoked and was sentenced to 3 years in state prison. His wife Kimberly was hit with 90 days in Wheaton County Jail, 3 years probation, and was made to attend a 52-week child abuse prevention program. But if you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next.
Do you want to know
There's
whether
some
it's
very
on
good
a phone
emulators,
or
isn't
an emulator like BlueStacks or whatever on in this video, because like my channel is all a bit more how to find out your ways better. To find out your ways better. Your ways better. Your ways better. Your ways better. I want to get you. My heart back together. I searched all some.
You hear the birds?
Can I have an extra with this monorail can I send to Tokyo?
Doing this and You hear the bird singing? That would be a blackbird if I use my bird. Looked at him. Didn't do anything else.
Yes, I need to turn off the VPN.
Oh, sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't.
It's I'm exploring.